Nick, you got to an extender to it. Nick, you got to an extender to it outside. Oh, sweet. Well, he's going to be down there Saturday. Hopefully.
And so I started to look.
Yeah, they actually.
I've kind of done this frame. It's like, we got to change the still be a spark plug. Kelsey, I accidentally got you something at Trader Joe's at 8 May or may not be cold brew coffee. I put it in there just to get it cold. But now we have an ice maker thanks to Ford. So maybe the two. Yeah, probably a. What? I've got some cool. It's like the layer mushrooms and stuff. Check that out.
Did you send that out? Jeff's good job.
Never heard of it.
Like rice cold bread? Yes. But there's it's pretty good actually. There's nothing added.
I was waiting on you.
So I wanted to talk to you.
And I did the same. Yeah.
I probably did. Me and you. I started to go through my email the other day and 412 unread.
Yes. Okay.
Just a few minutes late today, so.
Okay. Medical oven has P0302.
Let's see. Which one is medical? Is that 7238? 7239. I think it's. Oh, I can tell you. Okay, so it's 31 is 72. So, okay.
anybody knows the cruising coming over today? She's
Our crews on mow or mutual aid?
They started mutual aid.
They left under mutual aid, I knew that.
Yeah, and then they rolled over into Mo, Keegan's still down there on Mo.
Right, yeah.
He's, ICP, safety, EMS. Keegan's.
Does he have any equipment?
You should. That was my first question. Yeah, you use it every now and then, ICP down there. And, so, I know Brad Norman Johnson, huh? He said, sure. Go for it. Yeah. Well, he's happy, he's making good money down there.
Yeah.
Good.
Have you been out there all the?
No, our team's number one up close, so all those fires, there was a chance we were gonna go. All in light fuels, so I think they're running in a smaller organization, trying to keep their expenses. For the budget.
You're retired, you
Yeah. You remember that.
Tammy's still working now, right?
That's right. Somebody's gotta make money for it.
That's what he keeps saying. He's gonna retire.
I was in that boat for several years. I get up and make the coffees in the morning.
He said I can retire.
I told her I was gonna go get her. Take her to work, bring her home. She wants to. I'll go get her. Do my part.
Yeah.
I think, this might be her last, if she, well, she's unopposed, so. Could be
See
her
how
last.
much fun you're having.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I didn't have, Tuesday or Wednesday, I gotta cut a tree up that fell in the yard, that half of it broke off, so I had to cut it up and then all branches and everything else. Made a nice mess.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Never had a tree. Just had the top blown out ever since I've lived there too, so. They don't grow up, they just
Gross it.
grows out and gets to be a big tree. Well, that last one, it split it up through the center. And, you're gonna have somebody come over and cut it down. Trying to push it over. Don't put seed or anything up at one time. Can you do it? Yeah, I can do that. And, I don't think there's 2.5 foot of soil before it hit. I just walked up to it and just, but you know, that tree just shattered. Zillion pieces. Not my tree, bye.
Got it down for you, here you go.
Nice neighbor.
Those are nice ones, I like that, we just gotta put it on the ground and say goodbye. This one, unfortunately, it's kind of connected to work, well, it shot out through the middle.
Oh, that's
So
good.
you check on the,
It was between two
Yeah.
fruit
Yeah.
trees,
You
like,
should be on
couldn't
it.
go all the way in, so you gave a lot, hold it enough to get it to break off.
everybody's good.
And we'll go back and probably fall.
Okay, we will call the meeting together at 2:06 this afternoon and ask Larry if he can give us an
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
accept the consent agenda as it stands.
I second that.
Okay, moved and seconded that we accept the consent agenda regarding prior meeting minutes with payroll certification. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And we will now move on. Is there any correspondence that needs to be brought forth at this time? I'm not aware of any that I have. You, okay, you've all received the chief's report, had a chance to review. Okay. Great. Before we go into reports, just want to welcome everybody that's here. Good to have you with us in our meeting. And we have some guests, so could we have you maybe introduce yourself before we move forward into our agenda so we can communicate with you properly?
I'm Jenny Smith, I'm the External Affairs Officer at Newport Hospital and Health Services.
I'm Justin Peters, the Chief Financial Officer at Newport Hospital and Health Services.
And I'm Kim Amos, I am Chief Executive Officer. at
Okay.
Newport Hospital and Health Services.
So, thank you for coming and being with us. I know you're on the agenda, so we'll look forward to hearing from you in a little bit. And I'm kind of looking around, I don't know this man for sure.
Lieutenant Littlefield,
Good to meet you.
nice to meet you as well.
Everybody else I pretty well recognize, so welcome. We'll now go into the reports here, and regarding the chief's reports, are there any questions? And the chief, if you're on with us, do you have any comments you want to share?
Good afternoon, how are you guys?
We're doing.
Good. Good
How's
to
the
see
sick
you.
leave?
Sorry, Ken and Jenny, that I'm not there in person, but, I think you guys all saw the report. It was pretty straightforward. Obviously, a lot happened the last month. A ton happened, but we addressed everything appropriately in the right way. So, nothing major further on that. We guys all saw the wildfire on Tuesday down in Spokane 9. So SPOFR was requested as immediate mutual aid, which is not something historically always happened in the past, but they requested us, and we were able to get a type 1 and type 6 engine en route for immediate needs, as we call it. And then also I was name requested, so SPOFR had a really, really good showing. Really proud of Charlie and Lily on Brush 31 and our crew on Engine 31. We were committed there overnight. And our crews got into the thick of it, and by all accounts, they did a fantastic job. Definitely speak to Corey and Lily's job off our brush. And our strike team had type 1 engine crews from Spokane City, Spokane Valley, and a lot of other partners, and they all complimented our people and our work ethic. So just wanted to say we're really proud of our people, and I talked to some of the fire chiefs, and they were very impressive. Where SPOFR is coming, where we've been, and we're in the middle of it now. We're in the thick of it. So on the bad side though, is I'll remember that fire happened in June. We are in June right now. So let's get prepared and get ready to rock and roll for a long summertime. Because we are a month ahead of schedule right now on the wildfire front. Let's see, wildfire. The other thing for Chief's report, and I'll kick it over to Commissioner Miller also, is you look at this major wildfire, you look at what kind of the season that we're gonna have coming up. We'd like to see if we can best deploy our people to be able to catch these things quick. That's my goal. I want to catch things quick. So talking with Commissioner Miller, one of the ideas we're thinking of is staffing up Station 61 and or 62 with a daytime position. And that would be moving one of our firefighters who is currently on 4896 schedule, moving them to a 40-hour work week and doing a daytime peak hour staffing. Make sure that when it's hot outside, we have a presence up at PAF 6. We can be there for their community over the summertime and also to jump on wildfire. So Commissioner Miller, would you like to elaborate?
There's been a lot of talk on that. We have no details, nothing on how we're gonna finance it, what we're gonna do, where we're gonna move people, we don't know yet. We just know we've gotta get somebody on that side of the river. Kalispell Tribe is doing great things with us up there, helping us out, wanting to work with us even more than they have. But we still need a presence up there. And what we do, there's a little bit of talk going on now on moving some of the more seasoned firefighter EMTs up into that station at some period, during the day shift. We don't have the details yet, but, work on that building a little more. We don't need a shower since it's just a daytime thing. Clean it up. There's a lot of details yet to be worked out, so. At this point, we don't know much. It's a conversation going on, but it will probably, once it gets, moving, it'll probably move at a very fast pace. I believe that, we're gonna lean on the volunteers again, probably, to help balance it out. One of the things we've noticed is like when we have 4, 5, 6 people, in one station, that is where we're gonna try to pull from and maybe move that qualified personnel up there. So they're not all here, or all up in Devon at one time. Spread it out, smooth it out, and spread out our resources. We've got that kind of
Just to clarify, we intend for this to be a zero cost measure. We intend on just reallocating current personnel within staffing. We're not talking about hiring or anything that's going to cost us money.
Right, so there's a lot of things moving right now towards that area. But, people up in Bat 6 has expressed concerns. We hear them, we want to address them, and move forward. We gotta keep a good working relationship out there.
Is the movement of the 48 to the 40-hour just for the fire season, or do you see that as long-term?
Well, for our initial trial will be, we're looking at this as a fire season measure, but I think as we get it going, these are questions that we're gonna find out the answers to as we see how this works out. Because maybe we like it a lot, staffing's great, and we wanna keep that, you know, where this is all the things that we get to learn as we kind of deploy this idea.
At one point earlier on this year, we had committed to putting during June, July, August, September, somewhere in there, for 3-4 months, a staff personnel up there, a couple people working out at 62 or 61 for a while on a temporary basis. And so we still may go back to something like that, but we don't, I keep saying we don't know where we're headed to at this point, but we know we've got to do something. No questions, let's move on.
Do we know
That's the
if,
end of my report, then. Thank you.
Randy,
Chief, I did have a question, and I can't remember what it was. It was gonna be go back, I guess.
Just thinking on staffing for that detail, were you thinking of staffing it more through the weekends or through the weekdays? For people and personnel moving in through the county and area, it seems like the weekend is when you have the more outside travel and recreational people involved as well.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Chief.
I don't have the exact numbers, but I don't think I'm gonna be surprised when I pull data and see a higher call volume on the weekend side. However, most of our calls up there are residential medical aids in nature. But with all the people moving around and running around in the summertime, that would be a bigger concern for me if we get, any fires starting off in Claire or something like that, or boat chain, dragon. So I don't have that answer. I think that one of the things that we can be creative with it too. We can be creative with the individuals that we're thinking of offering this to see what works out best for everybody.
Okay, yeah, and I think when there's a red flag event or something like that, weather alert system, it might be more of an emphasis as well. Would be good, good times to do that, okay?
We try to up staff for all red flag or all, just like we did on Tuesday. If there's any red flag coming either in Ponderay County or Spokane County, the goal is to be up staff, not just for ourselves. And so just like on Tuesday, I can get an immediate need, type 1 and type 6, in or out to Spokane to assist with, how it's being active, right? So we are gonna up staff for these events because this is, I'll go back, this is my big concern is when we get fires in Ponderay County, outside of the Oregon Road fire, DNR comes, we're there for a while, they smoke around, get into the trees, right? It's these wind-driven fires that are running towards homes where my biggest concern is, and that would be like Working Road, right? So I want resources available, not just to be available, for Ponderay if we break something, but if, we look good right now because they called and I immediately had three units that were out in Spokane. I need them to be at reciprocated, right? So, upstaffing in general is, with our bodies is gonna be a big thing this year.
Hey, Chief, I, on that go back, are we gonna have some kind of action, after action review on what we could do better? I know the chiefs are, but as far as what they expect from SPOFR, or have you gone that far in that project?
So, I'm meeting two chiefs, later tonight to start doing some debriefings. There will be a formal debriefing with all the chiefs coming up, obviously, and then based on what we learned from both of those, me and Chief Friesen have already talked about doing one of our trainings coming up, probably next month, and kind of giving a more SPOFR-centric debriefing of the whole incident and what it's gonna look like for us, right? Because I'll tell you this, and I've had this conversation with a few of you, is, this is new to the region. This is some Southern California stuff, is, spotting fire, running and causing homes to burn a mile away from where the fire's at, right? This is not how this region has fought fire. This is something that's, it's only 5 or so years old as the weather's gotten worse, the winds have gotten worse. So yeah, we absolutely are going to have a big debriefing about it, and it's a little more SPOFR-centric so that our people are aware of what the threats are and what the responsibilities and their roles would be if they have to go down there again. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Just a
And
thought.
I'll tell you, even the city crews that I was with, the city, the valley, and I have a Forest Service rig with me, they're not used to this too. This is just not what this region has grown up doing, like we did in California. This is just not what we grew up doing, so this kind of houses are burning all around you kind of thing, a mile away. We got structures threatened, fire running uphill towards a residential neighborhood. Even this is new for them, so we're all gonna get better about that.
I know that, we have good, cooperation and, agreements with not only District 9 and 4, but also the Tribe and District 2, for that matter. Is there, I'm assuming, if not, I would recommend that, there be some kind of a gathering of all of those particular departments to kind of evaluate the staffing. For example, if we're looking at moving staff in areas, and let's say we're looking up north towards Ione, and the Tribe's gonna already be increasing things, and we know we have backup there, then that could affect where we place and how many. Is there anything like that in the future for them all to come together and kind of take a look at this year, particularly with the fire potential? And I mean, just like today, I saw the wind coming up, and all of a sudden I get a little bit of a scary feeling in my body about the wind. So, anything like that gonna happen where we can kind of join forces as far as staffing needs and where we need them the most?
Yeah, absolutely. Luckily those lines of communication are open right now, and they've never been better than what we try right now, so, those conversations will definitely be had once and they might give us a better idea of how and where, how we all wanna do things to work together. But yeah, those lines are in place and open, and obviously those lines are in place and open south of us as well, so.
I know you got a great letter from District 9, appreciation, which was kind of neat that we were able to help out. I know on their end, much appreciated.
Yeah, we have to remember that this fire uniquely, this isn't a state mode, right? This isn't we're gonna get a call for an engine and a tender, and they're, for tomorrow morning. This was immediate need, almost like structure fire. Well, it was a structure fire. So this was, we gotta be prepared for both sides. Good state mode action, and also good immediate need action.
That was my next question on state modes. I'm assuming that, we're preparing for something in that area.
Yep.
Okay.
We are, we're doing good on that front, we're getting we're actually getting a lot of people signed off. Getting a lot of people prepared, red carded, so I know we got people that are itching.
That's good. Anything else for the chief? Any questions? Anything else, chief, before we move on?
And the report, thank you.
Thank you. Financial report for us.
Okay, so looking at our revenue and income, we did get some more taxes in May, so some people are still completely paying. We're at 60% of that income coming in. And as it keeps going down through there, the fire EMS, had a double the income amount of 61 instead of like in the 30,000. So seems like the calls and that stuff is generating a little bit more revenue as well there. So we're, above 50%, we're at 60% there for income, so that 300,000 we might actually end up with more income in that, just looking at it, it continues to do well. So that's the good side on the income. But for expenses, as we look at the expense sheet, there is a couple areas of concern. One, operating supplies. Our supplies overall is a good budget, but we did buy shelters this time, and so that's a really high one there for that operating supplies, and that's coming from a DNR grant as well, which should get pushed back in hopefully. Then as we kind of continue down, there was some clothing and other items that were purchased there, and the office supplies. Looking for the monthly, it was great, because there's zero, but it's still high for expenses overall for the targeting for 5 months.
It looks like we're gonna be over that, right?
And we are gonna probably be over, if we have 6-7 months left to spend for office supplies, so we will be over there.
Yeah, larger crew,
Yeah.
replace printers that weren't working.
So definitely by the end, we will be over in that one. As we kind of go down into the next, the services and charges, again, if we think in that services and charges, insurance was one of those big expenses in there, and we paid that early in the year. If we remove that, our percentage of that whole is 43%. So that's almost right on target to where we should be at for our expenses overall for 5 months, which is really good. There's a couple of them in there that are a little bit above. One of those is the phones, because we had the extra from December that came into our January bill, so that pushed that one up higher, so it was like an extra whole bill in there. And then the other one, Jeff, is that the maintenance, and we still are spending high there. We're at 60% of what we had budgeted there, so we are definitely high there. And one other one that we're over 100% is the miscellaneous. And miscellaneous is primarily our software, and a lot of our software costs. And so we are at 132% of what we had budgeted there, so we are definitely overspent into that part of that. But again, as we look at the whole picture of that one, we're still looking good inside of our budget. And so overall, for the budget, we're at 38% spent for our 5 months. We're looking at the year total, we should be right in that 41 and a half. So overall budget-wise, we are looking good, even with our new staffing that we have and the purchases of all that other equipment. So unless there's other questions for our finance report, let's see the report.
There's some things that we can get together on that are just questions in my mind a little bit. FirstNet still has our old secretary's name on it. We're going to get that changed to you.
Yeah, it requires extra access, so.
Yeah.
I think Shane's probably on that one.
Okay. We're gonna hear from maintenance. I have a question there, but I could do that one later. Yeah, the AT&T, I don't know, I looked at it, it was just kind of interesting. I actually printed it out. And, some of them, it doesn't make sense to me, but I'm not sure how But does that include, because it's got radios on there, phones on there, iPads on there, everyone is there, and we have more than 4 radios, don't we?
Those are the new radios.
I don't know, these are,
I think
look
that's.
like a month, these are a monthly charge of
Yeah.
29 plus, you know, yeah.
We talked about that last month, there's some stuff on there. They gave us credit for some of it, radio, the 4 radios is another item we talked about. There's still room for improvement, we need to see what's going on.
I was kind of saying something that maybe look at, because it was a little high, so. Yeah. Yeah. That's why it caught my attention, so. And the life packs, they're under Striker, that was a whole bunch, was there, or was that just, it was not a lot of money, but it was up there.
The life pack is Striker, I'm not sure. Have we bought any life packs lately? New ones? Chief?
I just wondered if it was maintenance, or what, it's about $1,800.
Chief?
It looks like you have to wait for a second.
Okay.
I'll let you know when it pops back.
We don't need to take time right now, just some things that buzzed up when I was reading this. Questions there. The software, would it be too much work on the miscellaneous for us to have a little bit of a detail of the major participants on the miscellaneous list? We're 133%, and yet I really don't know what the heck's in there, other than you mentioned software.
Take it.
We just kind of sat, and that was one of my questions, is what was in miscellaneous, and so we were looking at that. And some of those are annual fees, some of those are monthly fees into that software, and so, and there's all kinds of different ones. There's like Adobe, there's the EMS inside of it, the ESO.
That's the biggest one.
So is a big one. So there's multiple ones inside of that software. So I mean, we start to break it out, I think it's gonna end up with a very long list.
Well, maybe it's not worth your time to go there,
No,
just,
it's basically the ESO, because they bill us usually starting in March, and then we get bills for the next few months, and then they stop again for another year. That's where the bulk comes in. But we've had some extra purchases like vehicles, so the tabs would go in there as well, the licensing fees.
Oh, yeah.
So that shot it up.
Yeah, the two new tenders, the registration fees came out of that as well, so.
but all the software and so forth is being utilized on a regular basis.
Oh, yeah,
Nothing- Nothing's sitting, so.
There's, yeah, a few monthly ones, but then the big ones get. And they used to be included, in a different line item. I think they were included in professional services as part of them, but then I pulled everything down under miscellaneous this year. So that's why it's gonna look, see, professional services only 17%, where miscellaneous is 132. Yeah, those two together, it's still okay, but it's just a comparison directly there.
And the last question I had for Forrest, since he's taken over this huge responsibility, is, correct me if I'm wrong, but our debt service now is done. There's nothing that we owe on, and the only question there was the interest side of it, which was a lot less than what we budgeted. Is there more interest to come? There shouldn't be, because we paid the final principal amount on that property and session.
And I'll have to figure that, find that out. I'll have to talk to Laura on that to verify.
I think we're done, right?
We're done.
Yep.
So that's a $30,000 increase for should be spendables at least in the future.
For future events, yes.
Okay.
$30,000 raise for Laura.
Yeah.
There you go. It's gotta be somewhere, right?
Not for the chief though, right?
Laura first, Laura first.
You heard it here first, Laura.
All right. Anything else for our finance expert.
Hey, Chairman, I had to step away for a second because my daughter was yelling at me. Did I miss any questions that were interested me during the finance report?
Probably.
No good.
I don't know that it was anything that real special needs Chief or detail. Yeah, a little bit on the telephones and radios and iPads, so we're just the increase in the cost there, but that's something that's gonna be analyzed, so we're fine.
Yeah, we were actually supposed to already do that in person with the AT&T rep. It only seems to work if we get him in person and make him physically go through what these things are. That meeting was supposed to be that was like 3 weeks ago, and it got canceled for whatever reason, so I'll reach back out to him. It's good for us every quarter or so to meet with the AT&T person, because then we see a savings for a few months, and then somehow it goes up again at the next quarter, so we'll stay on it.
Okay, great. I'm sitting here, Jeff, with your permission, could we introduce our Newport Annexation Committee report first and then go to you, so that if they have things they need to get to, we're not holding them up?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Would that be okay?
Yeah.
Is that okay with you? Okay, and everybody else agrees?
Sure. So
Okay.
what report are you going to?
We're gonna go to item D, and the report for Newport Annexation Committee report. Is that,
If there is anything.
is there anything for that?
There's no
I just-
new updates from the last meeting, we have not had a meeting since.
Okay.
That's an easy one.
No new updates in your report.
The only thing there is to report on that is that, D2 did sit down with the city, and the city asked them the same set of questions.
Okay,
And that's all I know.
okay, so, no, that's,
Yeah.
and that doesn't
I can
involve
pull you
hospital
in.
necessarily, but, excuse me, go ahead.
I can fill you in, yeah, the city sat down with D2, to do due diligence, as we all should as elected, right? The same committee people, to ask all the same questions and figure out, we should, that's due diligence. The takeaway from that meeting for them was, obviously, there's been a lot of, there's been some negative press, around some of our neighbors recently, so the timing wasn't really good. And D2 also expressed to the city that they think that SPOFR is the right choice to provide fire protection there. And it just makes more sense. So they were also in that position during this meeting. And so with that, the committee, their report after the meeting was, we need to sit down again and go back to, because now we gotta work on the hard part. That's the when and the how. And then for me and the city administrator, that's the nuts and the bolts, right? So we gotta go ahead and proceed down, once we get direction from you guys about how you wanna do it, when do you wanna do it, then it allows the nuts and bolts to start breaking.
Okay. Certainly something we'll handle before budget time. All right, then let's go back to Jeff under maintenance for reports before we go to old business. Jeff, you're on.
I have a couple things, and Laura and Chief and I have I've talked to Laura, Laura's talked to Chief, I've talked to Chief, but the three of us have not talked together yet. But with the people down at 11, the new groups, and with everything else happening, I was wanting to hire a part-time guy for building maintenance only. We got some projects that we kind of made up last year to carry over to this year. And now that we're kind of in not really a crunch, but things need to get done. And Corey and I don't have time to do these kind of projects with all the maintenance that we got on the vehicles. And Corey is leaving next month, and he'll be gone for 30 days, so I'm here by myself.
During the fire season.
Yeah. But it's for a short period of time, and it's just for a couple projects. So it's not like we're talking a whole lot of money, but yeah.
Jeff, you ready for me to help you out, take her home?
You got her, boss. Fire away.
Yeah, I've run numbers, I need to run numbers again with Laura. I think the ROI is here, I think with some other staffing adjustments that are gonna be made, I don't see this being a big hit, for a temp hire for maintenance. I think the ROI exists in getting these projects done that we did budget for, and also taking away Jeff and Corey to go do their jobs, which is maintenance. And I don't want us to ever have to cost more in maintenance because we didn't have the time to do it right the first time. And maintenance is expensive right now. So financially, I think I have it worked out and at a very minimal impact to us. I think it's a good idea for temp hire.
What's the feeling of the group? What's the feeling of the commissioner?
Something's gotta change. We need help. Jeff needs help, Corey needs help. I work with guys all the time, and we're just getting further and further behind. And building maintenance is beginning to suffer, and, we got some projects, 61 project, we need to work on some of that possibly. We still have this stuff out here, what we committed to last year, not saying we have to do it, but we should start moving forward on that, because winter time's gonna be here again in the next couple months, and here we are working on it in winter time. And, we have projects up at, once it happens, needs to be get done. So there's a lot of things, maintenance shop. Out there, yeah. So there's a lot of little things to get done. And I think I know who Jeff is thinking about putting his finger at, to get help, and he will be out on the road for a period of time also probably. So, something we need to move forward on.
Let me put it this way, is if we budgeted for a shower for 61, and we actually are probably gonna get a grant to cover those items, right? So we budgeted for that. Well, at the end of the day, it's gonna end up being Jeff, Corey, Randy, and probably me up there trying, putting this shower in, right? Which is where we don't need any of us. I need Corey and Jeff working on PM on my vehicles so that we don't have maintenance issues or later. Like I said, I just hate the idea of us letting any kind of PM maintenance for them slide, because Jeff's over there, fixing a doorknob, right? That's not his job. We appreciate that everybody here put chips in to get all the jobs done, but I need him on our vehicles. That's my opinion. And like I said, I think I have this worked out, and I will send these numbers out once I meet with Laura. I don't see this being a major hit because of a couple other reallocations of funds that are going to be coming in the staffing world. I think we're going to have a very, very little fiscal hit here.
Just quickly off the top of my head, we just need some figures, Chief, to kind of see what you're thinking of. And I guess my questions are, is this custodial maintenance, or is it major projects? I'm not aware of any major projects. I'm not sure what 61's needs are at this point, but, so, we just need some figures, I think, as commissioners, before we can make a decision to know what we're looking at financially in regards to our budget, but also what really are we talking about? Because right now, it is under the job description with both vehicles and buildings, but we knew we'd get to a point where we're large enough we would need to make a division there. Maybe that's the time now. I don't know. Preventative maintenance, I know we all agree upon, is our number one concern. All of it. We've got quite a fleet of vehicles, so that's a concern. We've talked about preventative maintenance and having a regular, detailed monthly review with what's all happening there, so we kind of know where we're at. So, in my mind, personally, I would just need some figures as well before we can see how it affects our budget. And is it projects, or is it just maintenance? What is it that we really need here?
Well,
I mean, you talked about putting doorknobs on, but we don't need somebody just for that. Go ahead.
we got a shower up at 61 that we need to put in. And then, the new people at 11 want lockers. Well, that station is extremely small. So Randy and I were looking at it today, and we're thinking probably our best bet to get all 3 lockers in there would be in the laundry, bathroom, shower room. There's 2 showers in there. We can knock 1 shower out and cap off the water lines and put shelves in there so we can take the racks and stuff that are in there now that hold all their supplies, the cleaning supplies, toilet paper, and things like that. Put those items on that shelf and makeshift room for their lockers. That's removing the shower and a wall. That's a little time consuming.
Have we explored the opportunity of putting it out for like a bid or a contract?
You're talking a whole lot more money.
Yeah, we have not. We're talking about, let's say $25 an hour, 20 hours a week for 3 months, it's just over $6,100. There's nobody that we're gonna find to farm out any of these projects that's gonna do that work cheaper. And like I said, I think I know where that money is going to come from, but that would be a topic for an executive session.
Okay.
So, okay, there is a shower in 11, but not in 61 as well.
Correct.
11 is, there's a lot of space in 11 to do different things, without knocking walls out.
At 11? There for Newports?
Okay, I'm thinking of Camden, so. Newport's different.
That's a whole nother project.
Got my numbers mixed up.
You could take Station 11 and put it inside Station 35.
We're going to put 2 of them in.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you wanna do, gentlemen? I think we just need a little bit of a cost factor. What are you thinking, how long? And it sounds like you're just talking about part-time for a little bit or something, but the individual thinking of might be on hold, so it's still not gonna get the
You know,
job.
last year, we had the same thing, we hired David Steller for, we put a max of what, 10,000 for 90 days or something like that. On it, and Jeff used him until the $10,000 was gone, that was it. What was that amount?
I think it was 10,000, but we didn't even come close to that.
Close to it, no.
But I think with the 2 projects, and I think if I heard the chief right, he said it was about 6,500 in labor or hour costs for the part-time help. So, you know, we'd be into both of those projects and labor, I'd say somewhere between 15 and 18,000, material and everything.
And that's if we don't get the grants that we wrote for those. But I want to, point out that part of our building budget is including these projects. Like we planned for these projects. We did last year's budgets. We knew we were going to do them. And I'm estimating that the labor's going to come out to be under $10,000. I would estimate based on the projects we have that we know we need done. I'm thinking we're between $65,000 and $80,000 via our high end. That's my guesstimate based on what I see that we're going to use this individual for. And it would be, I would hate to say it over like 3 months because he might be moved out a lot. So I would just put this cap on, through end of fiscal year 26. That's what I would recommend.
And we have spent no money on buildings or structures at all.
Okay. So you haven't had the time to get to the projects.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, my recommendation would be a $10,000 cap for the rest of fiscal year 26.
That would be just for the labor, the person, correct?
Correct.
Not for the project as a whole.
No, but we haven't spent that money yet. We budgeted for these projects, yeah.
So do we pay them on by an hourly wage, is that correct?
Okay, another little question which I think you've heard me ask before, let's talk about the hut, which belongs to the city, not to us. So how are we going to utilize public funds to make repairs in property that belong to us? Is the city gonna handle that, or where are we?
Well, we, Abby and I and Randy and Chief, we've all talked about it, and there's, Abby gave us some good leads to follow for grants and help with, from the county and the tribe and all that. So, but I haven't had any time to follow up on what we had discussed then. No, I'm not sure if Randy has.
I have not.
But my main concern right now, I mean, with what we have at the hut, we can make it work for a couple months, 3 months, 4 months, whatever. My concern now is 61 and 11 and whatever little things around it need to be fixed. You know, we got paneling up at Station 32 coming off the walls in the bathrooms, and just little things that just need to be addressed.
I can only act upon what you want, so gentlemen, do you want to move forward, or do you want more information, or would you like?
So, Chief, you did say something about it, discussing more in an executive session. Which was that? You were just talking about discussing there, back to that part, or do you remember?
Fell asleep again. Well, for one thing, I think the building maintenance, I think we should get on it and not wait a long time, because then we're gonna be into winter and it's that much more difficult to get things done, especially like this roof in the back.
Just a thought, it'd be nice to just have a list of the projects, the estimated costs, and in regards to materials and so forth, and then we can set a labor amount a little easier if we really know what we're looking at. I mean, we're looking at, I've listed here 61, 31, the hut, 11, and 32. That's projects already, I'm assuming there's
This is
probably more.
exactly what we did last year, when we budgeted, we put that money into building funds. We did this last year, we tracked all these projects and pricing. I don't remember them all, because this was last budget year that we did this, so we just haven't started anything. And, you know, one foundation for it.
Yes.
So, yeah, we did do this, and we put the money in there for it, and we just haven't gotten to it yet. We're all busy.
Okay, well, in the budget, we have $10,000, but that relates for computer equipment. But we also have 70,000 in building construction, which we haven't utilized yet, so I mean,
And that's where we put the money, that was in that section.
okay.
Yeah.
So, what is the feeling of the group? I need a motion, one way or another.
So I would make a motion that we do allow up to 10,000 for the part-time for maintenance,
For labor.
for the labor.
I would second that.
Okay, moved, and, I'm not supposed to make motions as a chair, but I'm going to suggest then as an amendment to that motion, that you give us a list of all the projects, Jeff, so we kind of know what we've approved and what we're doing, and where we're going, certain buildings, particularly what changes that we made to the wall movement, so we can have that, that'd be great. So the motion is before us that we, provide $10,000 for building maintenance, immediately for the projects, for the chief and Jeff. If there isn't any further discussion, all in favor, say aye. Any opposed, the same? Okay, motion carries. Moving on. Anything else before we go?
There is. So, I believe 3-4 years ago, Craig and Diane bought an ice maker with auxiliary money. I believe it was with the auxiliary money.
One, but she could raise money for on her bake sale.
Yeah. I don't know if we just got a lemon machine or what, but it's been broke down more than it has worked. And I took it in Monday to the repair shop and asked them about new machines. The machine that we have puts out 100 to 125 pounds of ice a day. We can bump up to the same kind of machine. It's what they call an under the counter machine that will put out 200 to 225 pounds for $3,600, or another under the counter for that one will put out 300 to 325 a day, or we can get a tub or a bin machine for 5,500, and that'll put out 400 pounds of ice a day.
So what kind of machine did they get? Under the counter or?
Yeah, under the counter.
Is what they got?
Yes, but it's only a 100-pound machine.
So it took me, I would have to bag it up, and then distribute it to the stations for, MOBs, or if we're out on a fire or something like that, they use it for the ice chest. But it took me probably to supply all this, probably 5-6 days, of bagging and staying on top of it.
My initial question is, what do we do with all the ice?
Yeah, they take it out on wildland fires, and then we use it for the drinks and stuff like that.
And then the rehabs on our structure.
Yeah,
fires.
rehabs and.
Is that to save money from buying it at the store?
Yes.
Is that the purpose?
Yep,
Gotcha.
last year we did have to buy some because it was down and it costed quite a bit of money.
Okay.
Events, we use it for some of the events, like, the lunches and whatever, stuff like that too.
Are they giving you a price estimate on this lemon one right now to repair it?
No, I have not gotten that price back yet to repair this one. But if we were able to bump up to the 200 one and have our machine that we have now repaired, that's still 300 pounds of ice a day.
How much ice do you think we go through a day during the summer?
Depends on the day and
Yep.
the weather.
So those bags are
And out of the office,
They're 10-pound bags.
10-pound bags,
Yep.
so 220 20 bags a day, plus the labor of bagging and stacking.
There's no labor. There's no labor, I just do that.
Is that,
There's no labor, I just do that.
there you go. Yeah.
No, you're supposed to say yes, labor cost is very high.
So what was the cost? I didn't quite catch.
The 200-pound machine is $3,600.
$3,600.
$3,645.
As the ice bagger, what do you need?
I just take the scoop, put it in the
No, I mean,
bag.
as far as what size of machine makes sense, and
It
You know
would
what
be
I mean?
nice to get a little bigger one, because like I said, you make, what does that come out to be, about 12 bags a day? So, and if you're behind the ball, and you're trying to get ice to the stations, cause it's
Yeah.
hot and, we got
Are we able
fires
to sell the
going.
lemon?
What?
Are we able to sell that lemon machine
We asked,
or
We
trade
could.
it? Something.
They would sell it for us.
I'm gonna interject here. This is within the chief's authority to approve or disapprove as far as the amount of money that he can without going through us as commissioners. So let's let the chief decide, you work it with him, and let's move on if that's okay.
Yep.
Okay?
I think Galen, there was a conflict of interest because I like ice so much that I probably use more ice than anybody, just drinking water all day, so there's a conflict interest there.
Hey, you got your new machine here at 31.
Well,
That's not 100 pounds a day though.
No,
That's not even
That's just the
200.
chief's though.
Oh.
that's the chief's personal machine.
How long would it take that machine to make enough ice to fill that office?
7 days.
go ahead, chief, that's what you get paid the big bucks for. You make the decision, we'll support it, one way or the other. Is that okay?
Yep, sounds good. I'll revisit all those. He's talked to me about it once. I'll revisit all that with him, and then we'll make sure we make the best decision. And,
Great.
I know where this is at gonna come at the budget or where it's going, so I'll work with Jeff to make the best decision.
Wonderful.
You can take it out of the maintenance department.
Yeah.
It's over budget anyway, so.
The only quick question I have, and I'm sure there's an easy answer, is why are we working with Les Schwab's at Colville and Deer Park, not in our own area?
Because, this one hurts. Les Schwab and Priest River cannot do the alignments on our vehicles because their machine is not big enough. That's why we go to Deer Park. Now, the business with the Colville Les Schwab, last year when we were on the fire down there, we ruined a couple tires on a brush truck. So we went up to Les Schwab because Les Schwab was a block away from camp, had him put tires on. Well, turns out Les Schwab in Colville is the only Les Schwab in this area that carries those tires. And I didn't want to put mismatched tires on that truck.
Good explanation.
They can't ship them to the Priest River.
They could, but see, the alignment and everything was done on Monday, and they could have had the tires shipped to them, but it wouldn't have been there until Thursday.
Well, with the price of fuel, I'm just wondering why we're
Oh,
going to Colville.
And I made the drive myself to go get the tires.
Yeah, okay. Maybe we should look at another tire shop.
Well, we have, and it was just unfortunate that we were on the fire and ruined a couple tires. And Les Schwab was the only one there that could get to it right away without taking that truck off the fire.
Thank you. Let's move on to old business, unless there's any further questions for Jeff. Okay, who has an update on monthly foot stations, is that you, Chief?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Old business update on monk and Fruitport station.
Yes, that's gonna be a very long and protracted issue.
Okay, very long, what? Okay,
Now, I'm working with, you know how I hate when my legal team costs me money, but we did our due diligence. He's going back to the drawing board with his legal team, but I made it pretty clear that we're okay with the property lines being drawn different the way they are, but we're not interested in a shared well agreement that would grant anything other than what has been status quo for the last many, many years. And so we're kind of at a stall point where it's back in his court. So this will continue for, it's not bad, it's not hostile, this will continue for many months. It took a long time, thank you Jeff and JD, for getting me all the documentation to figure out where we are at. So we're just trying to protect SPOFR, and I would hate for a shared well agreement to allow for any more well use than what has been status quo, because it'll run that well dry, and then we won't have any water from the station. It's not able to support it, so that's kind of where we're at.
okay.
I'll give you all updates as needed, but this is gonna keep going on.
Okay, yeah, it's been a couple months, but it sounds like it's gonna be a long one, okay.
So how would the legal cost compare to drilling another well?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know what they're gonna charge us yet. But the well is right next to our station, so. Like
Why
it's,
do you want to do, yeah, why would you want to dig another well when we have the well there?
already have one.
Yeah,
Oh, so the well is on our property, yes.
it's 3 foot from the station.
Oh, okay. That simplifies
Oh,
it.
and one more important piece of information, for this matter, and I'm sorry, there's so many bells are longer outside my office, but, in my office, or as Larry calls it, the closet that I take these meetings from. But, we did find out that the original deed for us to have that land for Station 61 that 100% is our land. Even if we said, hey, we want to tear down Fairport Station, it's ours with no caveats. I learned that, that's probably pretty important to pass on.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, we'll move to new business. Is there anything new that needs to be brought forward at this time?
I have something if nobody else does.
Okay.
I had talked to Steve at Petrolib about a year ago. I had to call back to get reminded of what the cost would be, but when I was District 8, I put signs up every entrance to District 8 on the road that said burn ban in effect. They were 2-foot, 3-foot signs, and they have been really, really effective. Other than the tweakers the first of the week that had a fire right across from said sign. You can't fix stupid. But anyway, it has really been effective for our area. And so I had talked to Steve about whether it would be feasible to put up signs. Randy checked on a reader board years ago and very cost prohibitive. But 4x8 signs that were made on plastic. It's like, I think the corrugated plastic like election signs, but 4x8 sheet, we'd have to attach it to plywood and supply our own posts. Would be roughly $250 a piece. And I don't know what it would entail to be able to put one that coming into our district on the 4-lane to be on state property. I don't know what the legalities are. We'd have to put it on private property off of the right of way.
You can't put any signs on state property.
That's kind of what I thought.
But it will.
Take that. But my suggestion would be if we could put one there at the end of the 4-lane coming into our district, one coming in from the north on 211 where it comes from 4 into our district, and somewhere around Newport, on Newport Highway coming into our district. If there's interest in doing that, that would be 3 signs. So
Do you think we could get away with smaller signs? Well, let's, take my pancake signs at 18 inches by 2 foot. I got 8 signs per 4x8 sheet. We were passing them to a more rigid post. We could put signage on one side, we have to have clear
it
signage.
just has to be one side, yeah.
Right.
But I think on the state highway, it would be larger than that, 'cause mine are 2x3, which is a sign of the size of speed limit signs in county roads. So usually anything on state highways is much larger.
I think state highway, we're going to have to get up to.
It'd have to be on private road or private property, so that's farther from for visibility.
Can I interject real quick?
You may.
Thank you, Larry. I just want to be respectful of the hospital's time too, so. But I will tell you this, and this doesn't help us as much, but we spent, the fire chief's board that I sit on, I approved a whole bunch of money going to burn ban billboards that are gonna go up all along Highway 2, both north and south. I made sure to advocate for us. And also along I-90 and even Idaho. We lost space in Idaho too, people heading up. So we're trying to do that messaging right now. Those are going up next week. So that's a known thing. The more signage we can get out there telling people don't do something dumb. But that is that. So we should have on one of the billboards heading up on Highway 2. It won't be, obviously we don't have any in our county, so you get it'll be a little bit south of that, but going north, we will have one big. I'm not saying that's a that's a good caveat, I'm just letting you guys know that it's a positive thing.
And I will say I have got a peek preview of all 3 signs, and they are quite nice.
Thank you.
And I was gonna give you a bad time about it, but I forgot to.
No, thank you, that's a J code with AI and a little bit of direction from Shane.
I think there's a lot of, according to my resources, there was a lot of AI and just a little bit of J code in there, is what my.
Correct.
Well, maybe we should just wait and see where those end up and go from there. If we need to do some down here, then we can approach that at that time.
I think I would honestly, I'd pay for it right now, one to sit outside Station 31, right? One sitting outside Station 31, one sitting outside Fairport on the way up, right? You've got Spring Valley, but just people coming in on Highway 2 and one at Sasheen, that would be, I fully support that because you guys know that there are 2 things that I really don't like. One is catastrophic wildfire, and the other one is people calling me and asking me if they can burn every single day. So.
Yeah, and they call us too. Don't worry, I've been giving them your number.
Hey, Chief, looking at our budget, we put in for advertising, would that be part advertising? Those signs?
Yes.
And so, we got $10,000 in that budget with, $241 out of it, so over $9,000. I'm not sure what this sign out here by the gas station would cost us for 30 days, to 2 weeks, whatever. Yeah, that's something to think about.
The sign by the gas station that always has a random message that makes you and me go, huh, that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's something to look into. I want to save my advertising budget for if we have to go to annexation for the most part.
Okay.
But I can look into that. I've done billboards before for things in Florida, and it's always been a different price depending. But I'll look into that because I'd be curious. I'd love to buy that sign.
At one point, we did that a few years ago. Anybody help me with this one? No? Tom? No?
We purchased another.
Maybe we could commandeer the one across from Audrey's and cover up the pot shop one.
You know, ours costs us about $1,200 a month.
1,200?
But we've got a great big one, that's one heading,
Yeah.
this direction. And sometimes the problem you should run into is making sure that you have reserved that billboard and that the person who's currently using it, or the company, is not on a continuous contract. That's the only caveat.
Because we had reserved this one a couple months in advance.
Right, and they don't always have the ones available that you want. And then once you get it, you may want to hold on.
And if we're doing it for flyer purposes, we have to get it reserved ahead of time, because you're gonna get it.
So you're gonna
It's
look at
out
that.
of season in December. Oh, yeah, don't worry. Yeah, no, we're good.
They usually give you, at least one change per cycle, so.
You're gonna look into that, Chief?
Yeah.
And you get hold of Larry
Yep.
and have him be postal for him?
Correct.
I got an auger.
Okay, if we could move on, I'd like to get to open session here, so we can hear from Newport Hospital Health Services. I apologize, we try to move along as fast as we can.
Yeah, no worries.
Appreciate your patience.
Yeah, I'll take one go back real fast, it'll be 20 seconds, but
Okay.
as we were talking, I just got a text from one of the FMO for Arcadia region, DNR. He just texted me out of the blue to talk about the first couple after actions we're gonna do, but I won't read the whole thing, but they were very impressed, as they have been all year on the DNR side with SPOFR. We've had a few fires up here, they've been impressed with every time, and they were pumped that we were able to get people down, and they were had very kind words to me. This is from AJ. Very kind words to me about my job on the strike team. So SPOFR looks good. Let's try not to do something that makes us look stupid.
Great, thanks for sharing that very much. I know we're all proud of our participation in district time here during the fire. That was neat to hear. With that, introduce our guests here to share with us what you come for today. We appreciate it very much. Let's turn the time to you.
Thank you so much. I know that, we had some time, Laura, help me out with how you want to do this. We do have a presentation that we'd love to be able to show you, after your meeting adjourns or however you guys want to work it. But, essentially, we're here to discuss Hospital Proposition 1, which is an expansion, proposition on the August 4th ballot. And so we've been going around and sharing facts about that, and what that would provide would be an additional burden on taxpayers. But if you've been in a hospital, you know that it's time. So Laura, do you want us to wait till after?
This is what I'll do. Keep the meeting open. The presentation is how long?
Probably take 10, 15 minutes.
10, 15. Can you start the presentation?
Yeah, fine, let's go either way. That'd be great. If you, is that, do you need connections to our?
Yeah.
Yeah, Laura's gonna go ahead and pull it up, and then I can drag it, and I'll head out some information in the meantime.
Fantastic.
Hey, Chief, is there anything else you need to say or anything?
I've got nothing unless you guys have any questions.
Did you remember your question for him from this?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I still went back. Yeah, we got it. I'll be over what we're talking about.
Okay, well, take care of your little one, and we'll talk to you later, Chief. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'll try to stay on if I can, just to listen to the
Okay.
presentation. I appreciate you guys.
Did you get your window fixed?
No, no, I did not. Great question. But Woodley Link PD is actively pushing the matter with this individual. I'll pay for it.
And he was out yesterday, I think, guarding his house again, so, yeah.
I was. Randy caught me yesterday while I started heckling people who got too close to my house, and Randy got to hear it.
Is there anything, anybody else regarding open session, since we're in open session right now? If not, then we'll adjourn after the open session, if that's okay. And either of you have anything? Okay. Fantastic, and we'll look forward to the presentation.
Thank you.
Where would you guys like us to stand? Did you guys keep us sitting here? What do you?
It's your choice, you can sit there.
Whatever you're comfortable
Yeah.
with.
We're all looking at you, so.
Yeah, no, sir.
Okay, so I put both on.
April 23rd, that was my birthday, so that is kind of significant for me.
Yeah.
It says the Commission of Water.
Also, I think while we're getting that pulled up, now is a really good time to say thanks to all of you, first of all, for having us, but also for what you do every day and taking care of us. I know I've been in District 8 a long time, and we certainly appreciate the coverage that SPOFR provides.
Yeah, they've even been to your house.
They've even been to my house, yes, when I was in Scotland. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
the wildland fire?
yeah. Big
I
one.
still can't figure out how you started that from Scotland.
I know. We've been gone for quite a while. We don't know what happened.
So are you talking about, was that part of the big one?
No, thank goodness.
No, but it was weird.
It was weird, yeah.
Remote detonation? Well, it's interesting. I was in Scotland when the other one started.
Oh, God.
And I received notification of that.
Don't go to Scotland.
As I
No,
say.
no, that was interesting, that we were both there at the same time.
All right, so we'll turn it over to Kim and Justin.
All right. I guess we're probably good. Probably good sitting here, yeah.
Okay, so why we're here, we are just here to talk about the fact that, as you all know, we're a public hospital district, and you're very familiar with what that means. We're owned by the community, and we go to the voters when we need to do something. Our board's elected. We have a commitment from our board to serve our community, and it's always been important to them. We most recently opened back up our OB department, and we also invested into the assisted living we're actually getting ready to convert one of the assisted livings to a specialized dementia care unit. And in fact, we're waiting for the final surveyors to come on site from DSHS, and then we'll be ready to open up that unit, which is really needed.
When you say special care unit, then what type of care? would that be?
So like dementia, like patients that are memory care, and there are not very many of them that have openings even anywhere in the state. DSHS actually encouraged us to, we were initially gonna just do like 16 beds in the newest assisted living, and they said, well, could you do more beds? And so they talked us into converting the building, the oldest building. And so we've done all the work, and fire marshals have been there. Construction review has approved us. We're just waiting now for DSHS to come through and do their final. So, we most recently did we did a assessment, a market assessment. It was towards the end, and it's actually at the beginning of 25 that we finalized it, 2025. And we expect that by the end of 2030, we're gonna have about 25,000 people in our service area that we are servicing. And that 30% of that population is expected, or more, is expected to be 65 plus. And our 65 plus population are the ones who use the hospital probably the most. We're an economic driver of the community. We employ 450 employees right now. It's estimated that we're bringing in $40 to $44 million into the community. And so we'll go to the next slide. So we are currently looking, we're trying to figure out, we have a plan as far as the things that we need to do. And probably one of the number one things is that we need to expand and improve our emergency room. And we need to update some technology. Our surgery area, we are out of space. And we have surgeons right now that are just medical staff this morning talking about who is gonna get what slot and how we're gonna try to solve things. And we also have some new services that we're planning on starting. So.
Yeah, so why do we need new space? Well, simply because we are just growing. Our ER visits last year were right at about 10,000 visits. In our primary care unit, we had about 35,000 visits for the year. And surgical referrals continue to increase despite only having one operating room. Having only one operating room, surgeons do a procedure and then they have to sit around and wait for it to get cleaned and turned over before they can start another surgery, which is super inefficient. Some of the local impacts right now are lab tests. There's some of them that are being sent to Spokane, which is just delaying our results. Longer wait times, especially for our specialty care. Patients having to drive to Spokane or Coeur d'Alene for care and delaying seeking care because of that drive, which ultimately can deteriorate their health even further. Healthcare delivery is evolving, so our hospital really was built around inpatient stays. Previously, if you had a surgery done, you typically would have to stay a night or two. Now, you go home the same day. So in 1993, 48% of our patients were outpatient. Today, it's 88%. And the hospital was just not built for that. So yeah, go ahead and change the slide there, Kim. So, if passed, these are some of the proposed benefits that we're looking at for the community. So one of the benefits is that we are going to offer basically a medical bill credit through CBER's prescription drugs or through the hospital itself, up to $750 a year to help offset that new tax burden. Also, it helps avoid that 45-minute or mile drive over to Spokane or Coeur d'Alene. Ultimately helps save in gas, less time off work, and just more time with family. Keeping the care close to home and improving access to our ED, surgery. We have physical therapy that we'll be able to do more of, and then same thing with our imaging department. Faster results for our lab, especially microbiology. That typically helps identify bacteria or viruses, which is faster results can be critical. And right now we're having to send all that to Spokane. And then improve patient flow. I don't know who all here has been into our hospital, but it's very, very boxed up. It's hard to find. It's like a maze walking through trying to find anything. Almost every day when I'm walking through, I find a patient kind of wandering, trying to find where they need to go. So really improving that patient flow. And then job growth. Almost immediately with this expansion, we would add 20 to 25 jobs almost day one. So this is an economic impact for the community, and really it is just an investment into your community itself.
And so, one of the things that, we're looking at being able to do is some of the new local services and improving what we're doing. Oncology, we most recently, I just, was on the phone yesterday morning with Summit Cancer Care Center in Spokane. They are interested in partnering with us to come up and start doing oncology in Newport. And our hope would be that we could eventually move to where we're actually doing chemo infusions and that we can take care of our community. When we did our market assessment, that was one of the biggest areas. Oncology and cardiology is what's leaving our area and going elsewhere because of the fact that the services aren't available, and we'd like to bring those into our community. Also pain management, I've been approached on several occasions for ICRNAs that would like to come here and start doing, like the injections in the spine and that sort of thing. Right now you have to go either to Spokane or Sandpoint for that. We could handle that here, we just don't have the space to do it. And I mean, we've looked. We're just running out of little rooms that we've taken over. We've moved into the old 1958 building as we've had to. We just recently added, for example, in the cardiology, we did an echo. We have an echo machine now. And the only place that we could put that and operate it was in the old hospital. And it was actually the old radiology reading room is where it's sitting. And we also have our bone density machine in the old x-ray department in that building. And our physical therapy is in the old wing, that goes down, that was the patient rooms. And we pretty much have run out of space that we can go into. With the microbiology, that is something, we have staff that are capable of doing that. They're trained. We can't put another piece of equipment into that area. Actually, our circuits, our electrical circuits will not handle it. Even if we could figure out a way to move everything around, we're at a point that our staff are told, don't plug in your cell phone.